Round 3, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs just ended minutes ago. So in today's video, we're going over every remaining team's chances to win this year's Super Bowl. 4 teams remaining, 28 eliminated, but only 1 can win it all. We're gonna gather every single storyline, stat, injury, hot streak, cold streak, and matchups that both raise and lower the percent chance that each team is going to win the Super Bowl this year. We're also gonna be giving our instant reactions to all of the round 3 games. And talking Lions, Rams, Ravens, and Texans. Specifically why none of these teams' fans should be too disappointed by their losses today. All right, let's get into it, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. Getting this out of the way first because it's the hardest team to talk about. But before I go in on KC's chances to three-peat, let me get my Chiefs jersey on. There we go, much better. If you're truly an NFL fan, subscribe to the channel. If you're not an NFL fan, I don't even know what you're doing here. We just hit 15,000 subscribers. The next goal is 20K. And then before you forget, the way you can support this video for completely free is like it. Let's talk about the Chiefs. And again, their massive coaching advantage showed in this game. Although, I'm not going to talk about coaches a lot in this video. All 4 of the remaining teams kind of have an even playing field when we talk about experience in the NFL. All 4 of these coaches have been here before in the playoffs in the biggest moments. And they're going to bring the best game plans to the field. I have the utmost confidence we are going to see some instant classics out of these 2 games. Anyways, back to the Kansas City Chiefs, who didn't smoke the Houston Texans. But watching that game, it never felt like the Chiefs lost control at any point. Even when they were losing, it felt like the Chiefs were winning by a lot. And this was the definition of playoff football. Cold, hard-hitting, intense. Well, right up until we saw Patrick Mahomes literally flopping in a football game. We cannot bring flopping to the sport of football. It's already bad enough that it's running rampant in the sport of basketball, soccer. It's also putting defenders in a really tough position when Mahomes is tiptoeing the sideline, pretending like he's going to go out of bounds, and they pull up, don't hit him, then he skirts up the sideline for 5 extra yards. Then, when they hit him like he's going to stay in bounds, you get a 15-yard penalty. And the refs selling was a huge storyline in this Texans game. We cannot get through a Chiefs game clean. It's impossible at this point. It's so bad that even the players of their opponents are just straight up saying, we're playing against the Chiefs and the refs each week. We go into these games expecting not to ever get a call, expecting for this not to be a game that's called down the middle 50-50. To me, that is just sad. And the referees should make an extended effort in this Buffalo game to make sure the calls are correct. And to me, the best path for doing that for the AFC title game is to eat a lot of these close flags. Eat anything that is 50-50 and let the boys play. But then it'll be KC that'll commit pass interference and it won't get called. Watch. Anyways, once you get over the refereeing, you notice in this game, the Chiefs defensively can really slow down the rush. Houston needed to get Joe Mixon going at all points of this game to stand any chance, and they couldn't. And this should scare both Baltimore and Buffalo. Is Washington the Chiefs' best Super Bowl matchup? In this game, other than Nico Collins, the Houston Texans simply ran out of weapons. No one could get separation off the line. You could really see where they missed Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs majorly in this playoff game. Maybe the Texans win this playoff game if they have those 2 guys available. Because like I said, the Chiefs were able to slow down Joe Mixon. They were able to slow down the rushing attack and get CJ Stroud into some known passing downs and absolutely tee off on him. And he was injured and banged up early in this game. Kudos to CJ for toughing this one out. He stood no chance in there. When the Chiefs are bringing pressure, when they're being risky like that and they're going into man coverage with these DBs, you have to be able to beat them off the line of scrimmage. It is absolutely key. It's another thing where Washington kind of matches up well versus the Chiefs compared to the Eagles and compared to the Bills. At least for the Texans, you can look at it as, hey, if we were healthy, we probably would have won this game. Hey, our defense took a real leap this season. All these guys are going to age one more year. They're going to get better. And DeMeco Ryans and the entire management of Houston right now will have a full offseason to continue to build a team that can contend in the AFC while CJ Stroud is on his rookie contract still. It's not all doom and gloom for the Texans. Some things that raise the Chiefs' chances to win their 3rd straight Super Bowl is that exact fact. They have the most experience in the playoffs, in the AFC title game, and in the Super Bowl by a mile of all the remaining teams. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce are a all-time trio, and we've seen them do this freaking 3 times in the past 4 or 5 years. Also, like I said, they match up well against run-heavy teams. And while Buffalo isn't run-heavy, it is a big part of opening up their passing attack. And Philly, straight up, is reliant on the run at this point. We're going to talk about that more. The Chiefs have also been their playoff kryptonite over the last half-decade, eliminating the Buffalo Bills multiple times, beating the Eagles in the Super Bowl just a few years ago. I was very fortunately and unfortunately there to see it. There's years of the Chiefs beating the Buffalo Bills and Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I keep pointing back at the Commanders. It's very intriguing. Now, there are some things that lower the Chiefs' chances of winning this year's Super Bowl. Like maybe the fact that this roster's old as shit. I don't care that they're continuing to win. At some point in games 19 and 20, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, they're going to start to feel this age. And the Bills, Eagles, and Commanders are all young, hungry, and deep teams to throw at these old veterans kind of carrying the Chiefs right now. We've already seen offensive production has gone down a ton this year for KC. They were middle of the pack in total offense in the regular season at 17th. And then in the postseason, right now, the Chiefs, in their one game, put up the least amount of yards per game of all playoff teams, including the Denver Broncos, who got blown out by Buffalo, including my LA Chargers, who got blown out by Houston, including Houston, who just got beat by KC. They had the worst offense in the postseason so far this year. One game, small sample size, I know, but they've been doing this all year. Like I said, 17th in the regular season. Taking into account that Buffalo's been scoring 30 points game after game after game all year, this is a problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the biggest problem for KC, and the biggest thing that lowers their percent chances below 50% in my opinion, is the eyesore still at the tackle position. And we've seen teams in the playoffs, especially late in the postseason, get after KC's tackles in the past. It's how Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl a few years ago. And this team is very similarly built to that Chiefs Super Bowl team that just fell short. Mahomes was able to get them so far, but when they played another Super Bowl caliber team with a lot of pass rushers, the Eagles or Commanders, Mahomes got hit early, Mahomes got hit often, and KC got blown out. With all that being said, you guys know I'm a Chargers fan. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs with all of my soul. I can't even imagine living in a world where they three-peat. I don't know if I'd watch the Super Bowl if they're about to three-peat. JK, I can't not watch the Super Bowl. Of the 100% pie, I'm giving the Kansas City Chiefs almost half, a 45% chance as of right now of winning this year's Super Bowl and three-peating, if I'm completely honest, leaving only 65% for the other 3 teams, and taking me to the Buffalo Bills, who just defeated the Baltimore Ravens minutes ago. Lamar Jackson choked again. But seriously, the Baltimore Ravens don't turn the ball over. They control the time of possession. But mistakes, costly mistakes, cost them their season again. Last year, they fumbled the AFC title game away on the 1-yard line. This year, they dropped the 2-point conversion that sends this thing into overtime. With their offense red hot, their defense figured out how to slow down the Bills' offense. And Mark Andrews drops the 2-point conversion. A 2-point conversion drop away from going back to the AFC title game. You got to give the Bills defense some credit, especially for their performance in the first half. They found a way to slow down Derrick Henry by 50%, like I said they needed to in my predictions video. And they give me some confidence going into this game with KC. Even though there's been some shaky performances out of the Bills defense this year, they're playing their best at the right time. Even though I took the Ravens to win this game, I like the Bills' chances now. The chances go up because unlike the Ravens, they are a team that's beaten KC as recently as this season. And they know what it takes to beat KC. They played them multiple times in the playoffs. Haven't beaten them in the playoffs yet. Multiple times in the regular season over the last couple of years. And some of the best games we've seen in the NFL. Just so many big games. You know what it takes. Everything to beat KC in the AFC Championship game. Also, after what I just witnessed, after last week, after this entire season, with Lamar Jackson completely choking that playoff game, I can officially say Josh Allen is the most unstoppable quarterback in football right now, both running the ball and throwing the ball. That raises your chances to win a Super Bowl a hell of a lot when you're one of Final Four teams left. Also, in that war with Baltimore they just went through, only really lost Taylor Rapp when it comes to the injury department. I expected a few Bills to go down in this game, and they got out of it mostly healthy. Finally, they had the edge rushers to throw at these tackles in KC and get after Mahomes. The recipe to beating the Chiefs in the AFC title game for Buffalo is to get after Mahomes with 4 pass rushers, cover up Travis Kelce, cover up DeAndre Hopkins, have a safety deep so they can't get nothing to Xavier Worthy. Make them beat you with Kareem motherfucking Hunt. And smash Kareem Hunt with Matt Milano when that time comes. The things that lower the Bills' percent chances below the Chiefs and have them in second, the fact they can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. They've been trying for half a decade now. This seems like the hump Buffalo and Josh Allen cannot get over. And when he does, he's literally going to be a Hall of Famer. He just has to get over KC once. Also, every single Buffalo loss this season, their only losses this year, have been suffered on the road. Been a very good home team, been a good road team, but if there has been any time that the Bills have lost focus, any time that the Bills have struggled, it's a young team on the road. With all that being said, I give the Bills the second highest chance to win this year's Super Bowl as of right now. A 30% chance. Taking me to the next team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And man, I know that the voting is already done and there's no changing it at this point, but if Saquon Barkley would have broke the record in the regular season, he may have put all of these debates between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson to bed. Because without him, the Eagles would not be here. There's no freaking way. When you talk about valuable, it doesn't get much more valuable than this. A.J. Brown looking like the new Deebo Samuel out there. Demanding for all these targets on Twitter. Bringing books on the sideline, causing all kinds of drama. Got every media outlet talking about A.J. Brown needing more targets. Gets more targets, he drops the ball. Me personally, I think A.J. Brown is way better than Deebo Samuel. But damn, man, I don't care that you're in the snow. It's the NFL. You demand more targets, you get more targets, you better not drop the ball. You best not drop the ball in the NFC title game against the Washington Commanders because they're going to put up some points. And then Jalen Hurts, man. Got injured in this game, a little bit more banged up than he was entering the game. And at a certain point, Philadelphia couldn't throw the ball at all anymore. And they needed Jalen Hurts in multiple situations to try and put this game away. They had control of it and almost let it slip away. Matthew Stafford, one of the best quarterbacks of our generation, with some of the highest totals when it comes to fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives, was given an opportunity to eliminate the Eagles with 0 seconds left. And the Eagles defense stepped up and made that final stop to win it. You give Jaden Daniels and this Washington offense that chance next week, and it ain't snowing, I don't know. You may not be going to the Super Bowl, Philly. Philly has to be able to put their foot on the throat of their opponents. And they can't do it with Saquon Barkley when the whole stadium, world, universe knows is going to him. For the Rams, I don't think it's time to be too sad. This team will be in the thick of things in the NFC West and in the NFC next year. You have a fierce D-line. Maybe one of the best up-and-coming D-lines in football. And everyone on that D-line is young, on their rookie contracts. And I'm sorry about Cooper Kupp. Even his role is diminishing at this point. His snap count is going down. Sean McVay is putting Demarcus Robinson on there and giving him more playing time over Cooper Kupp. On the bright side, you already found Puka Nacua, so you got your Cooper Kupp replacement in play already. Rams need to keep improving this offensive line to keep Stafford healthy and upright. Rams need to definitely put some work into this secondary. Need to get a safety in here, need to get a corner in here, maybe multiple, and work on the draft in the secondary. This team can actually contend for the NFC in a year. All right, some of the points that raise the Eagles' chances to win the Super Bowl this year a ton. Saquon Barkley may actually be unstoppable. And if they just hand him the ball 30 times a game, they may win the next 2 games and raise the trophy. The Eagles have the pass rushers to get after both Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes. We're going to talk about this Samuel Cosmi injury when we get to the Commanders next. But right now, all I can say is that Jalen Carter may be a guy that has an Aaron Donald-like impact on the Eagles' Super Bowl run this year. This guy's an absolute game wrecker, and then once teams try to focus on slowing the guy in the middle, wrecking the game, edge rushers start to feast. Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, these guys start to get after whatever quarterback they're playing. They have the #1 defense in the league overall. If you have confidence in that holding through the rest of the playoffs, with Saquon's dominance, the Philadelphia Eagles maybe should be the team with the highest chances to win the Super Bowl. But I worry that Jalen Hurts can't get the ball to the wide receiver. Eventually, teams will load the box and figure out a way to at least slow Saquon Barkley. I think the Commanders may do a lot better than the Rams did this weekend, let alone if you see Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs in a few weeks in the Super Bowl. Something else that lowers the Eagles' chances, Jalen Hurts is banged up. This man can't move around like he usually can. He's got a knee injury, and I know he's got a bunch of other stuff that he's dealing with. Like I said, to the point at the end of that Rams game where they couldn't throw the ball anymore. And then something that scares me a ton is that they're getting thin in that secondary. It has been all pro level all season. And these rookie corners, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, have literally been unbelievable. But Quinyon Mitchell went down, and his backup went down. If either Cliff Kingsbury or Andy Reid can get after it and confuse these rookie DBs, we're going to see a lot of points put up on the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts in a situation where he has to try and throw his way back into a game. With all that being said, the Eagles' percent chance to win the Super Bowl, in my eyes, lowered a shit ton this week. The performance was good, and they beat a good team, but all of my worries about the Eagles almost cost them that game against LA. So my worries have gone up a ton, bringing me to the team with the least likely chance to win the Super Bowl this year. But don't freak out on me, Commanders fans, because the chances went up a shit ton. When we started the playoffs, I would put it at 0.01% chance the Commanders run all the way to the Super Bowl. Upset the Bucs on the road round 1, upset in round 2, then go to Philly and upset the Eagles as well, and then upset the Chiefs or Bills in the Super Bowl. That percentage has gone up. Now let's talk about the Lions real quick, because Jared Goff got the yips as I kind of predicted. I was super worried about the Lions this week. The injuries on defense piling up and not being able to slow down the Commanders' offense at all. Sure enough, that's what happened. And then on the other side of the ball, Dan Quinn being able to confuse Jared Goff and get after him. That happened. Forced a few turnovers. So I have similar worries for Jalen Hurts this week. For Lions fans, don't get too upset. You just ran into a team that was healthier and playing better football at the right time. If Detroit can be even half as healthy next year, I think the Lions will be in the Super Bowl at least and possibly win it. Jaden Daniels is a stone cold killer. It was at 0.01% because no rookie has ever even went to a Super Bowl before, let alone won one. It was already a 1% chance to even get there. But he has Burrow-like poise, Lamar Jackson-like scrambling ability, and a cannon like Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. And he is the rookie with the talent and composure to finally break this. And undoubtedly is the rookie of the year. They could truly score 50 points in the playoffs. They just proved it against the Lions. One of the up-and-coming defensive coordinators in the NFL, a guy that's probably going to be the head coach of the Jets next year. The Commanders also have the interior defensive line to give the Eagles offense some problems, just like the Eagles defense has. Especially Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, one of the best interior duos in the league. And then, like I said, can Cliff Kingsbury fool these young DBs down the field like Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay just did in the snow? You know what? If I'm doing my math correctly, we have 5% remaining to hand out. So even with the Sam Cosmi injury worrying me a ton, the fact that no rookie's been to a Super Bowl and the Commanders have to be road dogs, this could be KC's scariest matchup. They have a good enough rushing attack. The passing attack seems unstoppable, and that F-it mentality can carry you. I'm giving the 5% to the Commanders. 10% chance that the Commanders win the Super Bowl this year. I can't even believe that I'm saying that. I'm actually low-key rooting for Washington a little bit. That's every remaining team's chances to win the Super Bowl as of right now, in my opinion. Drop down in the comment section below and tell me, what percent do you give each team left to win it all? And then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're truly an NFL fan. My Super Bowl pick was the Baltimore Ravens since week 1. And they have officially been eliminated. So I have to give you my new Super Bowl pick. And you all know, based off my jersey here, I cannot go for the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't say they're my Super Bowl pick, even if my brain is telling me they should win the Super Bowl. I can't root for them to win the Super Bowl. I can't stand for them to win the Super Bowl. So my new Super Bowl pick is the Buffalo Bills. Let's go, Buffalo. But can anyone else win it this year except for the Kansas City Chiefs? I guess sooner rather than later, the ball definitely won't lie. Lamar, why, man? Why?
Bill Flames, I went Mike on the mic. With something brand new, one time for your mind. He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.